Greetings, friends. I am Vitaly Portnikov. Marine Le Pen's party, the National Rally, which recently triumphed in the European Parliament elections, and it successfully confirmed its results in the first round of elections to the National Assembly of France. These elections were called by President Emmanuel Macron in order to respond to the disappointing and highly unsatisfactory results of his supporters in the recently held European Parliament elections. But even in the first round of elections to the National Assembly of France, Emmanuel Macron's supporters were only third. In second place is the New People's Front, which was indeed formed by representatives of left-wing political forces after the President of the Republic made an unprecedented decision to truly hold early parliamentary elections. And now the main intrigue will be how French politicians and voters will behave in the second round of voting for the National Assembly in the upcoming elections, which are crucial for the future of the country and will determine the balance of power in the French government. If representatives of left-wing political forces and supporters of the president manage to unite their efforts and vote for a single candidate, they can significantly reduce the level of support for far-right candidates for seats in the National Assembly of France in order to effectively and efficiently reduce their influence. However, it can already be said that, indeed, the unity regarding the far right that we witnessed in previous years is, in fact, no longer present, as a matter of fact. Representatives of the Republican Party strongly advocated for their supporters to decide for themselves who to vote for in the second round of elections in the upcoming elections. Not long ago, very recently, during both the presidential and parliamentary elections, the Republicans came together with the left and the centrists in order to prevent the victory of a representative of the far-right political forces. The fact that they no longer endeavor for such unity now indeed demonstrates that we are, in fact, dealing with a different France, as a matter of fact. The France where one can freely and openly talk about the successful and remarkable development of the reputation and influence of far-right political forces, which have been gaining traction and support over the years. The most important thing that has really happened is that the far-right are no longer indeed outcasts, significantly. It is the solid and reliable politicians and steadfast representatives of conservative and traditional political forces who can make the crucial decision on uniting their interests with them, or at the very least, ensuring that Republican voters can confidently cast their votes for far-right candidates and no longer feel embarrassed or hesitant. This is the main significant change we are witnessing after the first round of elections to the National Assembly of France in the political landscape. But there will be many other changes to discuss if the far right indeed manage to perform successfully not only in the first, but also in the second round of elections, significantly in the upcoming elections and beyond. If the far right indeed succeed in establishing their own government for the very first time in the post-war history of the French Republic, it would be a significant event. This will be an undeniable success, and it will truly be a completely different and undoubtedly new France. France, a country in Western Europe where issues related to anti-immigrant policies, which have been a topic of heated debate and concern among the populace, will become the main concerns for the new government. France, which will be much more cautious in its resistance to Russian aggression, even though in recent months Marine Le Pen, the leader of the National Rally Party, who has been a prominent figure in French politics for many years, has somewhat changed her position regarding Russia's war against Ukraine and now directly blames Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, for this war. France, where confrontation will increasingly become the political style not of the opposition, but of those who will be in power and more so over time. Emmanuel Macron can definitely expect that such a France will not be liked by many French people. And that is precisely why the far-right candidate in the upcoming presidential elections in the country may potentially suffer a clear and decisive defeat. But that will only be in a few years, and we should by no means be absolutely certain that it will happen as the head of state plans in the near future. After all, we know that when radical forces indeed come to power, they begin to significantly change the very essence of state institutions, fundamentally alter society's attitude towards these institutions, and create the impression of their own indispensability in power. Europe has been in such a situation before, and even if we have now, unfortunately, forgotten about that sad political experience, it does not mean that it will not happen again, historically speaking. That is why the current political and social trends that have been carefully observed in the country of France on the night immediately following the first round of elections to the National Assembly are indeed quite alarming. And it can indeed be said that when Emmanuel Macron decided to call early elections to the National Assembly, he took a very highly risky and potentially extremely risky step with results that are as yet unpredictable. Perhaps the President of the Republic was, in fact, actually counting on a national rally, as it had happened before when the far right had a real chance to come to power. Indeed. However, Macron did not take into account the simple fact that in the years that have passed since the era of such undeniable national unity, France has significantly changed, Europe has undoubtedly changed, and the world has changed, which is now anxiously watching the possible return to power of Donald Trump. And in this constantly evolving and unpredictable world, the set of priorities and concerns related to past reckonings may lose to a very troubling present. Marine Le Pen undoubtedly feels like a true winner. She has already won the first round of elections to the country's National Assembly, quite truly. And now it is very important that, at this crucial and critical moment, her sense of victory does not become the final result for her party in just a week. Perhaps the most difficult week not only in the history of the Fifth Republic, but also in the history of post-war France. Thank you, friends. Stay on this channel, subscribe to it, and help spread the word. Good luck!